Top 10 Biggest Bank Robberies of All Time. People who want to live their lives without ever having to work again often entertain the idea of robbing a bank or winning the lottery as a way to make their dreams come true. This is indeed the most severe approach. And the only way for it to be successful is if you don't get caught doing it. However, a significant number of robberies wind up spending time in prison in the end. As you're about to find out, really pulling off a robbery is not nearly as simple as it seems like it would be in the movies. We are here with the top 10 largest bank heists that have ever been committed and tell you what happened to the stolen money. Number 10. The heist of the Dunbar armored car. Stolen, $18.9 million. In 1997, 6 individuals carried out what is currently considered to be the most successful cash theft in the annals of United States history. Alan Pace was in charge, and it turned out that he was the absolute worst safety inspector that the Dunbar Armored Trucking Company had ever hired. Pace enlisted 5 boyhood friends to assist him in robbing the vault at the Dunbar facility in Los Angeles. He did this after timing the security cameras at the facility so that he could escape them. They gained inside, attacked 2 guards while they were on their lunch breaks, and put $18.9 million cash into a U-Haul truck before fleeing the scene. They were so close to getting away with it, but one of the thieves made a careless mistake and gave some of the stolen money to a friend without first removing the currency straps that were attached to it. Number 9. The heist at the United California Bank, in which $30 million were taken. Emil Dincio, a career criminal originally from Ohio, put together a heist crew of 6 individuals and transported them to California in the year 1972. They hired a townhouse and made plans to commit a robbery at a bank because they, incorrectly, believed that President Richard Nixon had a slush fund there worth multiple millions of dollars. After carefully cleaning the townhouse, the crew left after breaking into the vault using explosives, stealing items and cash worth a total of $30 million, and then fleeing the scene. The police were eventually able to identify the criminals thanks to a substantial tip that they had provided to a taxi driver, as well as fingerprints that were discovered on the inside of the dishwasher in the townhouse. Number 8. The heist committed against the British Bank in the Middle East. Stolen, $20 million, $50 million. In 1976, when Lebanon was in the middle of a civil war, a bunch of thieves decided to cash in on the turmoil and take advantage of the situation. The crew carried off one of the most audacious thefts in history when they blew a hole in the wall of a Catholic church using explosives to get access to the British Bank of the Middle East, which was located nearby. They were prepared to break into the vault, so they brought along experienced locksmiths with them. The thieves were able to get away with $44.5 million worth of assets, including cash, stocks, gold bars, diamonds, and other valuables. Nobody was taken into custody, and none of the stolen property was ever found. The value of the stolen items has increased to more than 3 times what they were back in 1976. Number 7. The heist of the Northern Bank, in which $41 million was taken. In the week leading up to Christmas in 2004, 2 bank managers in Belfast, Northern Ireland, had their homes broken into by burglars posing as police officers. Their families were being kept as hostages, and the managers were given orders to report to work the following day as usual. The managers of the bank let the robbers in at the end of the working day, and throughout the largest bank heist in the history of Ireland, the robbers stole around 26.5 million British pounds along with other international currency. The investigation has not been completed, and there has been just 1 individual detained so far on suspicion of money laundering. Number 6. The theft from the Brinks. Matt Vault. A total of $41 million was taken. The most famous bank robbery in British history was carried out by a member of the bank's staff. Anthony Black, a security officer for Brinks. Matt was the one who gave the burglars access to the company's warehouse at Heathrow Airport in London on the morning of the theft that took place in 1983. They bound other guards with rope. The crew rapidly determined that in addition to a significant amount of money, the warehouse also contained gold and jewels. They were successful in their heist, making off with $41 million in loot, and they wished the security personnel a happy Christmas on their way out. Most of the thieves were apprehended, but the gold was able to elude capture. Number 5. The theft at Banco Central, which resulted in the loss of $71.6 million. The theft from Banco Central in Fortaleza, Brazil, in 2005 was once regarded by the Guinness Book of World Records as the most significant bank heist that had ever occurred. A gang consisting of 25 people pretended to be in the gardening business to pull it off. They labored for 3 months to build a tunnel with a length of 256 feet that led up through the floor of the bank's vault. When they were finally inside, they broke into multiple containers and stole a total of 160 million Brazilian real, which was equivalent to $71.6 million in 2005. Only 8 people were apprehended, and only 20 million reals were found. Number 4. The heist at the Securitas facility, in which $83 million was taken. In 2006, the Kent warehouse of a security services firm was the target of the greatest cash theft in British history, which took place there. To get ready, a man with inside knowledge recorded the inside of the Securitas depot. After then, masked guys kidnapped the manager of the branch and held his family hostage. The men wore intricate masks. The thieves brought him to the warehouse where they held him at gunpoint and demanded that he open the cash cages for them. The team made off with over $83 million in thefts. Some of the robbers were apprehended despite the ingenious disguises they had used, and the makeup artist who had made the masks became an essential witness in the investigation. Number 3. The heist of the Knightsbridge security deposit was responsible for the theft of $97 million. Valerio Vici, who was sought for more than 50 armed robberies in Italy at the time, came dangerously close to committing the ideal crime in London in 1987. Together with an assistant, he went to a bank and inquired about the availability of safe deposit boxes for rent. As soon as the men were shown the vault, they drew out their weapons and easily defeated the bank manager and the security officers. After placing a sign on the door of a bank stating that it was closed, they invited some pals inside, proceeded to break into as many safe deposit boxes as they could, and then made off with millions of dollars in cash and belongings. Vici managed to evade capture by fleeing to South America, but he was eventually caught when he returned to England to have his Ferrari sent to his new residence in England. Number 2. The Dar es Salaam Bank theft stolen, $282 million. The heist that took place at the Dar es Salaam Bank, a private financial institution located in Baghdad, Iraq, in 2007 has left very little information unanswered to this day. It is not apparent why the bank had such a large amount of American currency available for theft. According to the allegations, the heist was coordinated by a group of bank security employees. The authorities had reason to believe that the thieves had connections among the local police and militias, which enabled them to remain unnoticed as they traversed Baghdad's plethora of checkpoints. There has been no additional information disclosed regarding the whereabouts of the money or the individuals responsible for this matter. Number 1. The heist of the Central Bank of Iraq, in which over $920 million were taken. Another bank in Baghdad fell victim to the most successful bank theft in the annals of banking history. It was none other than the dictator of Iraq, Saddam Hussein, who was the mastermind. In 2003, he dispatched 3 huge trucks to the central bank on the very day that the Iraq War was about to begin. Along with the note, he dispatched his son Qusay with the request to withdraw over $1 billion to keep it out of the hands of hostiles. Vans were used to transport the cash, which was then taken away. The majority of the cash was recovered as a result of the subsequent raids. However, this is not the end of the story. Even though they were supposed to be counting the illegal plunder, American soldiers nevertheless managed to steal hundreds of thousands of dollars for themselves and their families. 35 service members were apprehended throughout the investigation. How was the video? Do you feel it is amazing? Please give your feedback in our comments section below and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more videos.